Hi everybody, welcome to Weighted to Win. Good to have you with us on this Tuesday meeting. I'm with Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows, and good to report that from our social media perspective that you would have picked up a pick six that was tipped out at Port Elizabeth Fairview, Gqeberha, and that Monday afternoon meeting. I think it was a 3,000 Rand perm that got back 40,000 bucks. So I hope you were in that, and the jackpot also got 10 times your money, so well done to all of you. For those of you that happen to get some of it. Well, let's hope the form continues now that we start the bipot. Does appear Sean Terry's horse, who's having its third run after the rest, Darren Burrows. I'll start with you. Whilst Broadway's had a bit of a go since December and does, try its very best, it appears that Green Scepter may be hard to beat here.
Clyde, very hard to beat. I think we can have an early strike on this horse. Because from what I saw last time out over the 1200 on the inside track, he was outpaced early and he absolutely flew at the finish. Now, obviously, the mile's going to suit him down to the ground. And in this type of company, I think he's worth a bet. If you look at horses like Broadway, having his 21st run in the maidens, he's very limited.
Yeah, that if that's the only danger, the question is that the only danger, or would there be more to?
I think the question has to be his respiratory noises or breathing problems. That's a comment been in both his latest two starts, Clyde. Now he goes the extra. So
does that worry you?
Is that a concern?
Well, it could be.
I'm breeding the dam 1 over 1450. His full brother 1 over 1400. So I don't think the distance will be a problem, especially in this lineup because it is a below average field. But I just got doubts because of those breathing issues. We saw Dungeons win from that form line. I've just backed him up in the bipot with number 1, Williamson. Fair effort last time out, Clyde. He's ridden by Siyabonga, who got touched off by Kelsey Mangamayu on Fort Lauderdale. I thought he rode a very decent race on that occasion, on the run-up. In his penultimate start behind American Biscuit, we saw Mambo Camtesio win from that form line. So if the favourite does fluff his lines, I think Williamson will be the one to possibly pick up the pieces. Yeah,
okay.
So I've just gone the safety route.
The safe route for Daryl Marie. Darren Burrows is on the other page. He says we climb into Green Scepter. Daryl's just a little concerned. We'll see whether or not this horse will come through. So we've got some information for you from the boys. Here we go. We'll start with Daryl Marie's bipot, where he's going both 1 and 3 by Banker 1, by 157, by 4, 5, 7 and 8, by 2 and 4, and then 2, 5 and 8. That Daryl Marie bipot is 144 Rand. And then you've got Darren Burrows, who'd like to have something to say here. He says he's going to start his day with number 3, Green Scepter. Second race, welcome back. This is probably the most interesting race on the day. I'll start with Daryl Marie and talk about Dave the King here. That's been backed in. I think I saw 2 to 1. I stand to be corrected, but I think it's 2 to 1 maybe yesterday. It's 9 to 10 now, this horse. Craig Zaki's riding. Richard Ferrie's not coming to Johannesburg, right?
Yes, I think you've seen things.
Hey?
2 to 1.
Was I seen things?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you saw that. Maybe you saw that on Saturday night, Clyde.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Daryl, tell me now. So, from a weights perspective, level weights, ratings. What's it? 25 pounds, 12 kilos. It shouldn't be a race, right?
No.
What?
Have a look at the best weighted column, Clyde.
Yeah.
He's a
I'm
net
talking
107.
Dave the King and back in business, right?
Oh. Well, yes.
On a
it shouldn't be a race. That is, 18 plus 7?
Yeah.
25, 12 and a half kilograms.
Correct, yeah. And they're carrying
yes,
level
but
weights.
Clyde, the one's exposed. Well, not exposed. He's had several opportunities, whereas back in business hasn't. So you can't knock back in business.
Not at
just
all.
Strictly because of his rating.
Okay.
But look at the best weighted column. Dave the King's a 107. Southern Skies is a 105. So he's only 1 kilogram best in of a year. And Ode to the Ocean is third best. She's a 102. So she's not badly in at the weights either. But Dave the King, the last time we saw him was in the Gold Rush. That was a very decent effort beyond Royal Aussie. Clyde, there's a horse he's beaten in his latest 2 starts. In the Guineas too, Lord William. He had him, I think, 6 lengths and 9 lengths behind. Look how well he's done in KZN. He won I think it was a sledgehammer, the
Yeah.
WSB sledgehammer over the weekend. Yeah, I've always been of the opinion that Dave the King's actually better over a sprinting distance. So let's see how he goes today. I expect him to win.
Expect him to win, yeah. And he, of course, beat that or See It Again. What's it called? See It Again of
Yes.
Mace Roberts's, yeah.
He came out and won the Derby.
Of course, with this, the best weighted column, naturally, the fillies get that sex allowance, so all those things help. But he does look like interesting with Mike de Kock now and what Mike de Kock's plans will be. Darren, what do you make? One horse race?
Yes, Clyde. This is one of the better bets on the card. Last time I should never have lost because he travelled 4 deep around the bend. So to run second was a cracking effort. And his form up the straight is he's 2 from 2. I know around the bend at Durbanville, he pulled out the race behind Charles Dickens, but he won his first 2 starts over 1200. So I think he'll win. Dangers, back in business, can improve, and Southern Skies not striding out in the last 2 starts.
It's interesting here. We're going to put up our selections. Daryl Murray going with the one, Dave the King. But it's pointed out that the back in business merit rating, it's still early days. So maybe not necessarily a like for like. We'll have to wait and see how good back in business is today. So Banker 1 by 1, 5, 7 by 5 and 8, by 2 and 4, by 2, 5 and 8, by 2, 3, 4 and 8. And the last leg of Daryl's PA is going 2 and 10. And that will cost 288 Rand. So, is Dave the King a better sprinter than a miler? Well, let's see what happens. Okay. All right, guys, welcome back. Let's get on to race 4. This is Supreme Dance, where his favourite, Brett Warren's got Samanga Kumalo riding at 7-2, top of the boards. Gavin Larina's out for the week. He'll be back on the weekend. One Thunderbolt is the second choice at 15-4. There's a bit of movement for that, I see. And number 5, Meridius, 9-2. The Four Willows Wish is at 5-1. Just how competitive, Mr. Marie, is the race?
Extremely competitive. The pace should be on, Clyde, with Vanderbilt in the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting that Keegan DeMello is not on Mr. Werner's as also. Yeah, I mean, he is retained by Mr. Werner's. He rides number 4, Willow's Wish, one from one over the course and distance. If you like his chances, you have to give healthy respect to Supreme Dance, as well as the bottom weight, Tamarisk Tree. Now, he's 3 kilograms better off. I thought he was still in need of that ting. So I'm going to say each way on Tamarisk Tree as the likely winner. Healthy respect for Otto Lycan. I mean, he's been rested and gelded. If that has brought him on, he could certainly be ahead of the handicapper. Does go straight into 1800 meters, so I'm sure Tyron thinks he's fit enough to do himself justice. The race doesn't stop there. Meridius should be closer to the pace this time round, get the run of the race. Finally cracks a draw. Has to go into Orperm, so tricky.
Yeah. Vanderbilt comes out the Wolf Power. There was a winner from that form line, wasn't there? I think. Johnny Hero, yeah. And this was Otto Lycan that you're talking about. Big, seen this horse if you haven't seen him in the ring. A big, chunky, strong fella. And I don't know, what the situation's going to be with him on the inside track. But let's see how it goes. May have a chance. See, the form line hasn't really worked out, but I wouldn't be surprised if a horse like that won. Mr. Burrows, where do we stand? I saw your pick 6. I got some sort of idea, but what's the plan now?
Well, Clyde, I liked Supreme Dance. Now, on his penultimate start, second behind Willow's Wish, he was narrowly beaten, and he's 3 kilos better off at the weight. But he's not the most consistent of late. So that's the reason I played the field. I made the Danger Cameras tree. I thought the inside track's going to suit him because he likes to run off a fast pace. And if the speed's on, he'll be doing good late work. But I did play the field.
Okay, did make it open. So both Daryl and Darren tend to like the 8 Tamarisk tree a bit. 7-1 at the moment when we did the show at 10 o'clock this morning. I'm not sure what price number 8 Tamarisk tree is at race time, but we've got a jackpot for you where Darren's gone field by 2 and 10 in the next leg. Then 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And the last leg of his jackpot, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 11. Yesterday's jackpot, you got 10 times your money. Touch wood, we can repeat the same thing. Here's a race where they're going over 1,800 metres. I'll give you an update on the market. Number 2, African Torrent, race 5, favourite 22-10. 1, Twin Turbo is 5-1. And number 6, Island Beauties at 5-1. It's 7-1 and better about the others. Our info has been updated on our Twitter feed already. At Waited to Win is the handle. We've also got YouTube up and running for Racing TV and the WhatsApp number that you can dot down to send your name and your email address via WhatsApp to that number, and our admin department will be in touch with you. Well, there's confidence. If you watched Andrew Bond's interview with Adam Mazzi, there was a bit of confidence, Daryl, that came out of African Torrent's interview, and having spoken to a couple of people, does appear to be the right horse in the race, and I guess on form, perhaps also the right horse in the race.
Yeah, Clyde just put a line through his Derby run. You can see he was never in contention, just wasn't himself. Go back to the Derby trial, Clyde. He gave Son of Raj 3 kilograms on that occasion. He gave him 3 kilograms. And he was returning as a gelding on that occasion, so he wasn't tuned up. Probably still in need of that. So one could say his latest start was second run after a rest, if you read into it like that. I think he's much better than his current rating of 85, excuse me. So I certainly make him very, very hard to beat. Now, you're a Form Lines man, and if you go down to number 4, Clyde, American Biscuit,
yes,
you'll say he's got no chance because his form lines are weak. But I just look at the son of Captain on all, and I say to myself, he's certainly improving. He's a staying type. He's improving. He's getting better with each and every start. I know his form lines are weak, and he's got his work cut out strictly on his form lines.
He's just a recent maiden winner, right?
But if he's improving, Clyde, he's could be ahead of the handicapper.
May well be.
So,
well,
and he's in
that
receipt
was Mamba
of...
Camtesio came from there.
Yeah,
so
but that was a work riders. He's in receipt of 4 kilograms from his biggest rival in African Torrent. So I'm going to say American Biscuit is his biggest danger.
Okay. Not necessarily to beat him, but there's a bold statement. An American Biscuit, Darren, number 4 is 10-1. Do you give that any sort of chance against a horse like African Torrent?
Not really, Clyde. I didn't include him. He's not part of my first 5 selections. I thought African Torrent, the horse to beat, that run in the Derby trial was a cracking effort. I thought there was a lot of value with Time Spirit, number 10. Now, if this was on the stand-side track, he would be my outright first choice because he looks to be an out-and-out stayer. I'm hoping that he holds his position from a good draw and he's not slow away. Because if he's in contention, he's in receipt of 9 kilos from African Torrent. So off his current rating, we could see a shock result with Time Spirit overturning your favourite African Torrent. And for minor money, Ballroom Bliss at a big price and Romeo's Magic.
Well, Time Spirit is 16-1, I think, in the market, and that's perhaps one of Darren's shrewdies, I think. It's number 10 on the card, but Daryl Marie's jackpot, they're on different pages, the other guys, so this is how Daryl would like to play it. 2 and 4 in this event, by a 2, 5, and 8 in the next leg, then 2, 3, 4, and 8, and the last leg of the jackpot, he's going 2, 3, 4, 7, and 10, and we're spending 120 Rand. Race number 6 is a handicap, and it's at the 80 level. It's run over the mile. The money hasn't stopped for number 8, Angel of War, Darren Burrows. It's shorted now 22-10. Birthday boy Marco van Rensburg's riding. Hopefully he can get it home for his birthday. And I see first time on the inside track. If there was a reservation, perhaps that was the only concern I would have. But I'd certainly, on current form, give it an outstanding chance, Darren. And I'll tell you why. That last effort to Mescal, where Mescal won again. After Hours won straight after that, and so did a horse called Princess Ilaria come and win as well. So only 4 runners, 3 direct winners. So the form line's deadly.
Yes, Clyde. You know, the furthest this course has gone is 1,400 meters, and it's his first step up to a mile. It is a concern to me on his earlier form, but on his pedigree, you know, he's out of a National Assembly mare. But the way he finished off his race last time out suggests he might just get the mile. And if he does, he's going to rate hard to beat in that last form line. His danger will be horses like Bloomington. He's in form, suited to course and distance. Others to consider the Global Impact, Castle Corner, and Future Wolf.
What would be, Daryl Marie, what would be the danger to Angel of War, in your opinion? The biggest danger?
The distance.
Only the
Yeah.
distance, okay.
I had a look at his breeding, Clyde. He's a half brother to Spirit of the Groove,
Yeah.
who was like a 6 furlong filly. She won one race over 1400, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Clyde, you have to be impressed with his latest form line. But to be honest, you know, After Hours and Princess Ilaria and this sort of lineup, they wouldn't hold much of a chance. But he's clearly off a very competitive rating. I think if Marker can just settle him and ride him a bit cold to ensure that he sees out the mile, he could take some beating. Bloomington, you know, like Darren touched on, this horse is a track and trip specialist. He had horses like Mojive and Stratospheric behind him in his latest start. Both of those sorts are on the upgrade. The stable had 1 or 2 disappointments, I think, last week. So let's hope they can bounce back. Run of the race from 1 draw. And then Future Wolf, he's only had 1 start for his new yard and he trotted up on that occasion. I'm sure the stable would have learned more about him. He does come back to a mile, but he's ultra consistent, so you can't knock his chances.
I see Silvano Song's form line's very strong,
I think he's been fitted with the blinkers for the first time, Silvano Song.
I mean, that form line, if you don't know, he ran to Absolute Value, who came and won again. Little Prince came out and ran 3rd. Celestial City, the 3rd horse, came out and won. King of Rome, the 4th horse, came out and won immediately. And much further down the page, a horse called Romeo's Magic came out and ran 2nd. So Silvano Song's a 10-1 shot that you may want to include in your play. But personally, I'm into this horse, Angel of War. I think Paul Matchett wouldn't be trying this distance if he wasn't convinced this horse would stay. Here we go. Here are our selections. You've heard from both of the guys what they like. Daryl's going 2, 5 and 8 by 2, 3, 4 and 8. This is a pick 3 that we're doing for you. And the last race 8, we're going 2, 3, 4, 7 and 10. So obviously you know by now that he makes that last race quite open. Okay, Beaded Gown is now Keegan DeMello's ride, and currently favourite at 5-2. That's number 8 on the card. 2, Axel Collins, second choice at 3-1. 3, Treamichi's at 5-1. And number 4, Covered Operators, 7-1. They are betting 14-1 and better about the others. I wanted to ask Darren Burrows, if I may. I'll start with you, Darren. What do you make of Tony Peters' horse here, Axel Collins?
That's my first choice, Clyde. I thought what to beat here. Last time out, very unlucky. Would have just about won if he got a run on the outside rail. I think he'll turn the tables on Treamichi on that run. He finished a length and a half behind Treamichi, but he's got the draw in his favour, and I think he'll go very close. Of the rest, Treamichi, Covert Operator, and Beat It Down from a deep draw.
All right, so there are a few in here, I guess. Western Wishes has come from Smith & Wesson, and it does represent the Treamichi and Axel Collins line. What do you think, Daryl?
Yeah, Axel was unlucky in his second start for his new yard. He's clearly improved on the Highveld. Treamichi's got that course experience. He's got that early toe to get into strikeable position. Covert Operator is going to be my number 1 pick over here. Although he's held by Beat It Down, Clyde, this was over this course and distance, he's most effective. Hopefully he can just be a length closer to the pace because he's very effective on the inside track. And then Beat It Down, obviously that stable's in cracking form. I'm not too concerned about the wide draw because she likes to be given a chance early and come with a late rattle. The question just remains whether she'll get there in time or not. So I'd box the quartet, those numbers 2, 3, 4, and 8.
Have you got a first choice or not really?
COVID operator.
COVID, okay. All right, well, that's Daryl's first choice for Johan Janssen van Vieren that Craig Zaki's riding. Let's have a look at that boxed trifecta or quartet, or what slide are we using? It's Darren Burrows, as Daryl's worked out what he wants to box. Darren Burrows is saying he's taking a place double, yeah? He's going with this horse, Axel Collins, which is number 2 in race 7, into race 8, Vava Vegas. And if you don't know that horse's number, Vava Vegas is number 10 in race 8. Okay, we're homeward bound now, the 8th finals. The classified stakes, it's over 1,000 metres. There's a few scratchings here, 1, 3 and 5. At around 10 o'clock this morning, we're all taken out. Does, I guess, change the whole look and feel of the race, although Nettleton was early favourite, remains favourite at 15 to 10. That's number 6 on the card. 2, Letitia's Angel is 33 to 10. 10, Vava Vegas, we know Darren's first choice because it's his place value. It's 9 to 2, and I think double your money at place, something like that. And 7, Pendragon is at 7 to 1. It's 10 to 1 and better about the others. So with all these scratches, Daryl Marie, just how does it make it open now? Anything can win, or does it make it easier?
Yeah, Clyde, people are going to see my perms and see that I've left out the favourite, but I don't see many results happening, so I had to get money somehow.
Yeah.
I'm playing to beat her in this leg. I don't think she represents any value at her current odds. I'm not saying she can't win, but I'm just taking my chances. Letitia's Angel over this course and distance, she loves it, yeah, Clyde. She cracks a draw this time around, so you can't ignore her chances. She's done extremely well for this 5-year-old mare. Very, very consistent. Nice little roughie for a trifecta or quartet. Have a look at the 4, A Time to Flower. Now, James Crawford has always said this filly hasn't quite delivered what he's expected of her. But I think this track and trip is certainly going to suit. And she cracks a nice draw, Clyde. She can just slot in behind Letitia's Angel. I'll tell you something. She will run an improved race.
Right.
Even a horse like Vava Vegas, I thought he did extremely well to finish where he did last time out, considering how hard he was tugging in the early stages of the race. Take note, the blinkers do come off.
Yep.
And he comes back to 1,000 meters. If he's not run off his feet and in contention, he should be, because it's a small field, turning for home. As long as he settles, I can see him certainly improving on his recent form. So I'm just playing to beat the favourite. I think there's value elsewhere.
Okay, interesting that you've identified quite a few. I like this horse, funny enough, Great Times. What price is this horse, Great Times, Daryl? Do you know?
No.
No, it's 14 to 1, number 8 on the card, Great Times. And I think it's dropping in ratings. I think it has. And I see Pendragon and Mercer Girl, the second and third horses, came out and won from the Looking Hot form line. So maybe a horse like that got a bit of a chance. Mr. Burrows, Great Times. What's your first choice, sir?
Clyde, I like this horse, Wawa Vegas, quite a lot. Last time out, he overdid it over 1,200 meters with the blinkers. I think the 1,000's going to be ideal. And off his current rating, his rating tumbled down to 67. He did open 12 to 1. You just mentioned 9 to 2. So there's a flood of support for him. And then just for the viewers that have just tuned in after work for the last race, we did catch the pick 6 at Fairview, paying 41,500 Rand yesterday, as well as the jackpot paying 3,800, and our best bet, Cherry Anna, at 2 to 1, winning by 4 lengths.
All right, well, long may the form continue, Darren. Let's hope that's the case. Daryl Marie's got an exacta box for you guys at the back. You noticed that he did say he's leaving Nettleton out because he's looking for a result here. So 2, 3, 4, 7, 10. One of those to run first and second, or 2 of those to run first and second. Use that in a boxed exacta. And then Mr. Burrows has got that horse, Vava Vegas, I think. We can show that. Yeah, he does. He likes that to run a drum. And that's, I think, you might just about double your money on the 10 Vava Vegas a place. For those who want to back it to win, at the moment it's currently 5 to 1. That's it from Weighted to Win on this Tuesday. We look forward again to seeing you on Wednesday with all of the action, and we look forward to the sales. Weighted to Win will be at the sales this weekend. Look forward to see you in person there too.